Okay, so yeah, we have daylights, we'll have instrument up. We want to apply our loco brake and release the brakes of the train. Make sure we are in forward. It's London bound service passing there. Okay, so we're waiting for that signal up there to give us the path out, and then we'll be ready to go. While we wait, we can have a quick look at some of the wagons. So of the 2 wagon variants, there are then 9 variations in how they look. On the shadow side here, I realise. Yep, so there are 9 variations. Oh, that's pretty cool. Like that, Adam. Oh, this is probably the train that's holding us up. 9 variations. They are applied randomly. So hopefully you never see patterns appearing, and that will occur every time the train or the wagons are spawned in. So every time you spawn a train, and they'll be different. Authentic numbers, authentic data. There are a few minor things that we had to change in order to satisfy license requirements, but nothing that we feel impacts the wagon or its appeal or authenticity at all. So just wait for that. Off we go. Cleared to depart on down main as far as Loughborough North Junction, and then we'll be taking the slow lines. So I'll take a bit of power to get going. Heavy train, I believe we've got 16 wagons on here. That's the usual size, I think. It's either 12, I think it would probably be 12 or 16 wagons are shunted at Mount Sorrel. And that is to be able to take 6, 7 or 8 through the loading facility, get them loaded, and then you load the other half of the train and join it back together again. So yeah, let's get out onto the main line and get going. Go via Loughborough. Got to be quick here so that we don't hold up any northbound express trains. But also we don't want to exceed that 15-mile-an-hour limit from the yard. Another hopper. There we go, there's the last one. Right, here we go. Watch that speed limit increase. Oh, come on, come on. There we go. Right, we're away. Okay. Oh, another HST coming past. Awesome. Right, so let's get a nice look out of these wagons. Let's say 9 variants. Some of them will be blank, that's one of the variations. Some of them will be branded. What's my signal there? Double yellow, so we're following that HST. Along the way, there's been minor improvements to various elements of scenery. One there is a tiny adjustment to the fencing on Barraponsor station, along with continued adjustments to the signalling system as we get more information to make them more authentic. Anything we didn't quite get as good as we'd like. Let's come up here. We are carrying sand. So you can see the sand commodity there in our hoppers. And this is dynamic. You can load these and unload them. That is the basis of cargo line aggregates. You get the full rail-based cargo business experience. Quite a word there. So yeah, basically you're going to be able to deliver empty hoppers to, for example, Mount Sorrel railhead there. That is the loading facility of Focus. You're then going to be loading those hoppers, as I say, in various shunting and runaround maneuvers. So there's going to be lots of back and forth, changing cabs. We tried very hard not to make the instructions or the player-led elements overpowering. Everyone has their own style of driving trains, whether they want to change cab or not. So hopefully we've found the right balance of how much information we should give you. You'll then be able to take those loaded hoppers, prepare the train for departure, and certainly in timetable mode, head on out back into the main line, as I'm doing here, and take those hoppers off to their destination, to their customer. Then, are we catching? Okay, got a single yellow there, so I'm catching a bit fast. Coming up, 2 miles to go to Loughborough. I'll take a little bit of speed off there. Yes, so through the Great Western Express route, they feature aggregate unloading facilities at both West Drayton and Hayes. I believe in the real world they're operated by Hanson Aggregates. So, yeah, the gameplay continues from Midland Main Line onto Great Western Express, where you'll be delivering those wagons to the unloading facilities. You then got to work through the unloading process. It's a lot easier to unload, obviously, than it is to load. The wagons and facilities, the sidings at these facilities is much longer, so you can take an entire train through without needing to break it down. That's plenty of speed off. That does look like a yellow to me. Coming up to Loughborough. And then once the empty hoppers are ready for departure again, you get to bring them back to Mount Sorrel, for example, and start the whole process again. So you're going to get that entire loading, delivery, unloading, return cycle, which is absolutely awesome. I'm not sure there are any other DLCs that offer that complete freight experience, so long as obviously you own Great Western Express and the Midland Main Line. And then to top it off, we're also providing gameplay for the Southeastern high-speed route. This is to show alternative operations that the wagons go through. So there's a facility near Maidstone in the southeast that is just off the Southeastern high-speed route, where trains come out from Strood on the Medway, and they either head up north through Dartford and everything, or they're turned or shunted at Hoo Junction Yard and sent south, depending on where they need to get to. Maybe it's Tunbridge, as in the examples in the scenarios, or elsewhere that has the automatic unloading facility. So unlike the J&A wagons that are also in Train Sim World, those are box aggregate wagons. So we've got our road going over to the slow lines here. Yeah, unlike the J&As, which are box wagons, these are hoppers with automatic discharge doors underneath. So we'll see down here. Top loaded, and then they are down through hoppers at the bottom here, and these doors fold out like clamshells and discharge the material. So a lot faster in their operation. Somewhere like the New Haven railhead on East Coastway is somewhere that would be more suited to the box wagons as found on that route. So So we'll cross over here. I'm definitely under the speed limit of 40, aren't I? Yep. So lovely sunset going on here. Okay, we're now going to go via East Midlands Parkway in just under 6 miles time. We should have a nice clear run now ahead of us. Once I'm over that junction, I can speed things back up again. As East Midlands, or was it Radcliffe Power Station come into view yet on the horizon? That's blocked by trees. So what else is part of the Cargo Line Aggregates package? Let's go to a rear camera now as we fly along. So alongside the 8 scenarios that are on Great Western, Midland Main Line and Southeastern, there are 50 timetable services, and that is spread across 4 routes that this DLC supports. Those are Great Western Express, Midland Main Line, Southeastern High Speed, and the London Underground route, the Suffragette Goblin Line route. So how does that break down? How do those 50 break down? Well, there are 17 services to be explored on Great Western Express. That consists of 11 services that are part of the Cargo Line Aggregate DLC, and then 6 that are added to Great Western Express utilising the Southeastern Class 66 and J&A box wagons. Next up, we have 24 services for Midland Main Line. Very similar to what we're operating here. Let's just make sure that we've got the right signals and everything ahead of us. It's looking green. So of those 24, you have 20 that come with the Cargo Line Aggregates DLC, utilising the HOA hoppers, and 4 that utilise the Southeastern High Speed J&A box hoppers. So just to confirm, if any of these services, the 6 on Great Western or the 4 on Midland Main Line, the services related to Southeastern High Speed stock don't need the Cargo Line Aggregate service. Those routes have been updated, those timetables, as work has been done on the Cargo Line Aggregates pack. Those timetables have had those services added as a bonus. Next up, we have the London Overground Suffragette line, and they come with 9 aggregate services, and those do need the Cargo Line Aggregates DLC. They utilise the HOA hopper. So if you already have that route and you get this pack, then those services will begin to appear, those trains will begin to appear as you play around timetable mode. There are not any services added to the timetable for Southeastern High Speed. This was at the advice of Dovetail Games. That is already, along with a few other routes, that is already a very full timetable, and they advised that the complexity, if we were to end up trying to fit trains in or try to adjust timetable wise, then that may upset the balance that they've got going on Southeastern High Speed. So because of that, we added 4 services to Midland Main Line and 6 services to Great Western Express, utilising the Southeastern High Speed stock as a compromise. So yeah, 50 timetable services in total across 4 routes. So we're now 3 miles from East Midlands Parkway. We're pulling pretty well, just approaching 60 miles an hour. You can see, even at full throttle, I've been driving for almost 3 miles now, and still accelerating to that usually 60 mile an hour speed limit. It is saying that I can go up to 75, but it's usually about 60 miles an hour that these trains operate to, either loaded or empty. It's usually the speed that the wagons are rated for. What else do we have? Compatibility. So, just as with, we have a yellow there, so I'm going to pull down the throttle. And we're going to add a little bit of brake, because we're at the top end of our ability as a train in terms of speed and weight. I'm just going to try and shave some of that speed off for the next yellow, if it is indeed a single yellow. So compatibility wise, as with Cargo Line Petroleum, there is rail driver support, and again that's consistent mapping as with previous 66s. Scenario planner support, there's the Radcliffe power station coming into view, and nice HST about to whiz past us here. So I believe that was a single yellow as well. So we want to keep bleeding that speed off and bring it down as we approach East Midlands. Keep an eye on that signal. Turn outside view. Because yeah, even in sighting of the signal, 30 miles an hour of this weight, I think it's like 1900 tons, may well not be enough to bring it to a stop. But 25, I would say, is a pretty good speed to be doing. And that does look to be red. So I wonder if we have caught up with another train there. No, it is gone yellow now. So give it a few just to make sure we arrest that decrease in speed. Nice autumn colours of the train. 66 134 ahead of our train today. Very nice. Oh, we got green. So raise it right up. .7 mile to go to East Midlands. So there's a number of formations provided for Scenario Planner. They range from, I believe, 3, 6, 9, 12, 16 and potentially 18 wagon lengths. And then they are both the VTG Mendip Rail version and this Moi tarmac version with the completely cut through brake handle there. And you can see the mechanism is such that if you spin the wheel on one side, it then spins it counter on the other. So we're going through East Midlands here. Let's just check what's going on with the signals. 30 miles an hour. Says I'm going to have a 50 and then a 40. That would indicate that we are going to be going over Trent South Junction. Not across the junction, just north of this station. Mansfield Junction, that is near Nottingham. As you can see, we're coasting quite nicely, maintaining our speed. Probably knock it up a few as we're going to be raising at least a 40 minimum. So we've got plenty of capacity. Head through the Robin Hill tunnels. Livery designer is fully supported. Both wagon variants can be reskinned in the livery designer. And as part of the tests to check that feature, I've created the Cemex blue and orange tone, the fully red DB Schenker color scheme, and my own personal favorite is the RMC orange and black color scheme that is seen on various hoppers. You don't get RMC orange hoppers for the HOA hopper, so so that one isn't quite as authentic, but we certainly gave a number of liveries that we imagine players will want to achieve a go to make sure they are indeed possible. We've got another train coming down there. What have we got here? This one. That's a service going the other direction. So while we're heading via Nottingham, that one is coming off the line from Totton, probably from Tunstead Quarry, and heading down to one of the many facilities on the Midland Main Line that are covered. Passing through. So that's the line off to Derby. We won't be going that direction. We're going to be heading not down to Derby or Totton, but off towards the Nottingham, Lincoln, Grantham direction. Cargo intermodal service going past there. Another one coming off the Totton line. And wow, it's a freight fest here through Trent Junction with a petroleum train also waiting for us there by the looks of it to come through and follow us out towards its destination, Immingham. So that's pretty cool. Very nice. So speed limit's raised back up. Let's give it a lot of power again, and we'll head down to Nottingham and Mansfield Junction, which I believe is just before Nottingham Station. You can really feel with the thrashing of the 66. Really working hard to bring those hoppers, 2,000 tons of stone, up to speed as we head off east. We got a shot of the train coming out of the sun. What have we got here? Very clear sky now. All the clouds melted away. So again, you can see there the random nature of the variations of the hopper wagon. Really working hard to make sure that we don't see patterns appearing. Very nice. Alongside the development of cargo line aggregates has been continued update of Mount Sorrel and the Midland Main Line. So Mount Sorrel being the focal point of a lot of work on this route. There have been a few other changes across the board, namely to vegetation. We have further enhanced and improved vegetation. Here's one such change that we were aware of. Things like a signal box that found itself along the side of the track here as we head towards Attenborough has been changed to be a house as it is in reality. We've also worked through all the static stock that is used on the route, so anywhere that there is trains just sitting around in yards, they've been enhanced and improved so that they're a bit more authentic than they were previously. This now makes use of stock such as the Blackpool branches DLC, where previously we had the J&A hop boxes from East Coastway. They are now the Southeastern ones. We realise that they're a much more widely available set of hoppers than the East Coastway version, so that should populate the stock a lot better there. And then it's also things such as Leicester North Depot, adding more rolling stock to there, as that is a much busier place in reality than was depicted previously. So little pieces here and there that hopefully do well to improve the overall experience. But then obviously most notably with a 158 going past there, the biggest change, I do have a single yellow here. Let's make sure we bring it right down, at least 4. Beyond Beeston station, there is a junction. Yeah, and I am going too fast. Beyond Beeston station, where we're going to stop here, there is a junction as we cross over onto the correct line as we head into Mansfield Junction. So we've had a brake application there, brake demand from TBWS. Should bring that to a stop. That's good, just outside the station, so passengers don't believe that we're going to be accepting boarding. So I'll wait for that to tick off. Yes, one of the biggest things of Midland Main Line is the overhaul of the timetable. That was a combination of improving the AI performance of the 158. Previously, it was able to achieve a much better rate of acceleration than the player would be able to achieve. So it meant that the AI and the simulations thought that trains could get to places much faster than they should have been able to. And then that was also compounded by the amount of time that the guard door closing feature was taking. So not only were you slower than the AI was expecting you to be, but then the doors were holding you back in your ability to keep the timetable as well. So all of that's been overhauled. It is now a case that the timetable is based on the 2018 East Midlands trains timings, each station having a correct to the minute time rather than something that came out of the simulation. So they are the times against the winter 2018 timetable, I believe. Now that we've got going again, we'll bring it back up. And then in addition to that, every service gets a small preparation time before they're required to start any activities on that service. So you can engage the keys, engage the safety systems, get the lights set up, switch on the train and be ready to then open the doors. And then for freight trains you get a little bit more time so that you can check the brakes, make sure the train is as it needs to be. But that is across the board, so every service now has that setup time, and every service has a correctly rounded to the minute go via or stopping time for its tasks. So we're now coming back up to speed again, having just released from that brake application. The speed limit, I believe, 25 miles an hour. So we're on approach control. Obviously this is quite a high speed line at 80 miles an hour, so our approach control is to red. So I'm going to take my power off. There we go, it's gone. Because I'm still well below, I'll be able to continue to accelerate. But that is definitely an authentic situation there. I was heading towards red at way too high a speed, and the TPWS system kicked in. Usually what we find is that if you have the throttle engaged, as you're approaching adverse signals, then the TPWS will kick in, and that does indeed catch a lot of people out who think, oh, we've got plenty of time to stop, or I'm well below the speed limit. If you are seen to be accelerating towards an adverse signal, the TPWS will kick in. So yeah, we've now got 1.8 miles to Mansfield Junction. We're about to cross over this section of the track, so heading in the opposite direction. This is the up main from Nottingham. As we go past Beeston Yard. And then once we're over this, we're going to be able to go a little bit faster before we need to stop at Mansfield Junction there in 1.6 miles. How's our train doing? Not the longest of trains at 16 hoppers. Certainly not as long as the petroleum or the intermodal traffic. But with the weight of stone that it is for the area that it takes up, the volume, then these trains don't tend to get much bigger. Apart from the jumbo trains that operate out of Somerset to West London. And I would definitely like to see those in the game one day. So I shall brave going to an outside camera to once again view these wagons, and we'll turn off all these features. So that's Dave, Sean, Blank, Adam. Very nice. Right, I definitely need to bring the speed down if we're going to be stopping at this this signal up ahead. 20 miles an hour, it's not too bad actually. But you do not want to get caught out, especially similar to the TEA petroleum tankers. They are very heavy, and so make sure you're prepared. You're slowing down half a bar, making sure that speed is under control, and then down to 15 miles an hour as we come into land, as it were. See our marker ahead, down to 12 miles an hour now. Slowly bringing it in. $250 yards to go. Last AWS call. $100 yards. Might get cut short just there. Yep. Just a little too ambitious. Within 10 yards I was aiming for. Pull her forward. So that's as far as we'll go with this scenario. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, welcome to Cargo Line Aggregates by Skyhook Games, and have a good evening. Goodbye.